Hello, YouTube friends, and welcome to this installment of the Hawk Hotel. And in this installment, the Aristochromis christyi are going to get a room upgrade. And what I'm going to do really is just follow some of the recommendations that you folks made when you watched my prior Hawk Hotel video. At least those recommendations and suggestions that I felt were practical with the available resources that I have at hand. So as you can see here, the hawk is looking good. The male hawk is showing some nice color on the top of the head, on the gills, and along the sides of the body. I don't think he's fired up to breed. He doesn't have what you would call breeding dress at this point. You would see probably a lot more blue than you see now. But he is looking good, and he is getting along well with the female. The female has been the aggressor of the two, chasing him around occasionally, but nothing really serious. So my first step was to just go ahead and do a cleanup in the tank. I wanted to incorporate making the changes along with a routine water change. So I did my first step of a normal water change, which is just to clean up the glass panels, front and sides. And so I went ahead and did that. And then I went ahead and reduced about 20 to 30% of the water, not just to give these fish some fresh water, but also because I wanted to put my hands and part of my arms inside of the tank and be able to work in there. I use a Python system. That bulb is very easy to get the water flow going. That way you don't have to suck on the tube and possibly inhale or swallow some tank water. So I went ahead and vacuumed the tank, gave it a good cleanup. And of course, this kind of substrate can hold on to detritus, certainly a lot more than, let's say, a sand substrate. After doing a vacuuming, I went ahead and swept the gravel to the left side of the tank. I didn't want to remove the gravel because, of course, in this case, the crushed coral and shells are a home to a lot of the beneficial bacteria. So instead, what I decided to do was to just create a good-sized mound on the left side of the tank. And this was to be able to follow a recommendation that several of you made to provide a bare bottom for the fish to go ahead and spawn and lay their eggs so that the chances of picking up a piece of rock or shell or a sharp-edged piece of coral would be minimized, and that way the eggs wouldn't get damaged or scraped in the mouth of the female. So I went ahead and cleared up the space, and I ended up with about a 50-60% area of bare bottom. And you can see here I made a pretty sizable mound on the left side of the tank. Once that task was wrapped up and tidied up, I could then move on to the next suggestion that you had made. And this was one that made sense, and I had seen actually in action in the tanks of a lot of folks out there who do breeding, and that was to add a clay pot. So I just happened to have a clay pot laying around. I gave it a good cleanup, and I went ahead and I put it in the tank. And as you can see, this is going to serve as a place where the female can chill and feel a bit safe and calm, and hopefully this will help to create circumstances that are more conducive for the fish wanting to go ahead and spawn. So I stacked it up as much as I could, hoping that a lot of it would stay on that side, again trying to minimize the chances of the fish, of the female picking up coral along with the eggs that could damage the eggs. I tried my best to not get them too worked up during this process. Of course, whenever you do anything inside of a tank, you're going to create some stress on the fish. So I tried to do it as quickly, but at the same time in a calm fashion, so I wouldn't get them banging into the sides of the tank and possibly hurting themselves and getting a bit overstressed. But as I progressed through it, I noticed that they were not showing really any major signs of distress and seemed to calm down rather quickly the second I'd pull my hand out of the tank. After things settled down and the things that were stirred up got cleaned up by the filter, and I was able to refill the tank, you can see here the final look of their room upgrade. And as you can see, they've moved up to a much nicer suite compared to what they had before. Whether or not this is going to result in them moving forward on spawning, I don't know. I mean, I'm hoping it helps, but certainly if it doesn't, I'll just simply move the male back up to the 100, and I'll probably find a home for that female, maybe to somebody who does have a larger breeding group and a larger aquarium to breed them in. But for now, this is the room upgrade, and for the Hawk Hotel, and I'm just going to let them get on with it. Let's go ahead and give these two a little bit of privacy. What do you say? I want to thank you folks for tuning in and watching this, and let's keep our fingers crossed and hope these two get together. Hey, why don't you come on by on Saturday and join me for a Cichlids and Coffee live stream. We get into some great topics and have a lot of fun, and I get to answer your questions live, usually around 10 a.m. on Saturdays. Also, why don't you follow me on Instagram at ben.o.cichlid. I post previews and pictures and all kinds of good stuff there. So come on by and check it out if you like, and follow me on Instagram. And also, if you'd like to join a real nice, a friendly group of fish keepers, always helpful, come on by the ben.o.cichlid Facebook group page. Cichlid is in the name, but we're open to all types of fish keepers. Be sure to answer all 3 questions so that the moderators let you in. All right? Thank you so much. You really appreciate it.